Ultron's second regeneration doesn't seem to be working as intended. Grandmaster Gauntlet's opponents announced and it drops today. More multiverse versions of champions are still to come in the game, and Kabam respond to the Scarlet Witch Sigil situation. Hello everybody, welcome to new content day. Man, there's a lot of stuff dropping today, and there's a lot of stuff we'll be covering on the channel. A lot to do with side events. The main quest itself, man, it's gonna be a spicy one. So hit the like button, subscribe or post notifications on all, and tune back to the channel at 1800 hours through to 2300 hours GMT today, because I'll be dropping lots of new content. Be on the Discord, be on Twitter. I'll be sending notifications for videos. So yeah, like lots to cover with this new event going live later today, from the side event, grind guides, objective stuff, you name it, we're going to cover it. And as we normally do, before we get into things, I want to give a massive thank you to those that support the channel here as YouTube members. You're on screen now, and thank you so much. Patreons, you're on screen now, and thank you so much. Also, those that support over on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. That's where I do a lot of my live streaming too. So a massive thank you to those that give the free Prime Gaming each month. If you have an Amazon Prime, you can give a free Twitch sub. And the same thing with those that give gifted subs, tier 1 subs, bits, donations. Thank you so much. You're on screen now. Thank you. And I'll see you later on for the live stream. Let's kick off the show by discussing a few things of great importance. So the first thing is that Falcon's locked on, as well as other type of evade suppression abilities, aren't suppressing Ultron's evade. You could try champions True Strike, but again, it's one of these situations because the champion has increased ability accuracy on his functions. Some of the times these things don't work as kind of like you'd hope them to. So yeah, if you're looking for, first of all, Falcon's locked on to work against Ultron, it ain't gonna work, unfortunately. As said here, as mentioned, Ultron's function abilities aren't affected by ability accuracy, and Ultron is also immune to slow. So yeah, things like True Strike and True Accuracy can still stop his evade though. Yeah, so that's the thing. As I said, True Strike and True Accuracy have got to be the two things you got to use against it. Damn. All those counters that one would have thought of as now they can't use. We're going to stick with Ultron because there's also two other things. So first of all, this Ultron regeneration situation. So I like that, by the way, the regeneration situation. So we all know that when health drops below 50% and 25%, function heal once per fight, gain a self-repair buff, healing 8,306.75 health over 10 seconds if stunned, blah 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 blah. So we kind of like thought prior to these changes that it's 2 regenerations. It's very weird because it's like, does it read as being it's one full for the entirety of the fight, or is it at 50% and at 25% we know that it is self-repair? Why is this an issue? Is it indeed broken? So I thought for the news today we'd prepare some, well, recording. So first of all, there's Ultron, this little fight that I just put together here, and we're just going to get hit, which we need to process to get the self-repair. So there we go. There's the first self-repair, and that runs through the motion as it is, regens up, blah, 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 gets up there, and then the same process has to be repeated again. So you can see down, now I'm at 30% health, and now I'm wanting to get hit. The evade is helping out a little bit. So yeah, got to get that 25% down to, going to get hit there. No stun, by the way, and if you saw right there, it processed, but no regeneration happened. So I was not stunned right there, but it did come up with processing. So there we go, this comes up with processing. No answer as of yet from Kabam on the situation, but it does look like this is a bug. But if I'm wrong, or if a lot of people wrong that question it, maybe we need more clarification on the matter. Also, it seems like we're going to stick with Ultron as being the big scuff at the moment. The PI problems and issues. So a lot of you might know that we covered this, that Ultron had a massive drop in PI. Not massive, but it's certainly a drop of PI. You can see here there's an example, 4,141, now 3,233. So yeah, very, very annoying, especially for certain players, especially looking at for rank up options and other things like that. Kabam have said as well that there is going to be a hotfix for this, which even though it says like this was kind of put out on the 31st, I don't know if this has actually gone live, especially because there has been a hotfix for the game that we need to mention. If you go to your respective app stores like the Google Play Store or the App Store, you'll notice that there is an update. This is update 31.1 31.1. And for those wondering what this is, well, 31.1.1 contains a hotfix for Alliance quests. They say they highly suggest updating to the release before the next run of Alliance Quest on June 4th to avoid any interruption in gameplay. So whatever this is may be attributed to stuff that is Alliance Quest orientated. I got to be honest, from playing the game last night, I thought it performed terribly. So I don't know if there's if this improves a lot of like issues that I've experienced or many other players experienced as well. But it just hasn't been right. Especially since the update. Initially it was really good and then it just started performing really terribly. But got to get those new quests out tonight. Maybe the game kind of like settles down and calms down and we'll take it from there. So go and get it downloaded now in order to make sure that things are running smoothly for your device. Next up, an alternate versions of characters. We've seen Overseer, which is a younger version in the parallel universe of Maestro. We've seen Nameless Thanos. We've seen nameless characters. We've seen all hosts of different things, including Purgatory. So the question was posed to Gabriel Fazera, who's the art director for Marvel Contest of Champions and as well Marvel Realm of Champions. So are we getting multiverse variants of Maestro in MCOC next month? Are there any chances of getting different versions of Thanos or Kang at some point in the future? And Gabriel Fazera responds back with, most likely. So, I mean, look, it's a no-brainer at the moment. We have seen Nameless Thanos, which is, again, another alternate version. Would we see something like a younger version of Thanos? Quite likely. The biggest problem that Marvel Contest of Champions has, especially this year, is it's not utilised a lot of variants, movie variants, well, TV variants of characters which they could have done. Alternate versions of the Winter Soldier, alternate versions of Falcon, even being the Captain America version of Sam Wilson. Those just haven't been done. So I would say that those would be better priority, especially from an interest from players' perspective. You know, we're looking at a very strong year of Marvel cinematic delights, like Eternals, like Shang-Chi, even though we've had the comic book version of Shang-Chi released. So it would indeed be great to see different versions, rather than kind of relying on going, okay, well, what's the story narrative? We're going to parallel universes, time paradox versions of characters, those kind of things. Either way, at the end of the day, it's a thing. It's a thing. Right, now it's Grandmaster Gauntlets time. This is very important if you are in way inclined to do this particular content. It's really for those that have done a lot of the stuff in game, and I think this is very much for those that are Thronebreaker. The quest itself gives me concern. The thing that I don't really like is the idea of like health points in their millions. But it looks like there's some sort of reassurances. It's all about you knowing your roster and understanding counters, and sometimes these teams that you select may not be the best options for stuff. Especially if you're going into, like, say, have a little bit of a taster. And that's the thing, go in and just check it out, a few fights, which I'll be doing, and seeing whether or not I want to go any further or like it. It's always interesting to read stuff here. It's always hard to pin down the exact level of difficulty of a quest, but the goal for the quest is to be challenging, similar to that of Abyss. If not, a little more challenging, great. But the focus is not on large health pools in the millions, but difficult buffs and nodes that enhance already challenging base kits. Shorter, more intense fights with their own unique complications, and an antagonistic level design that demands your perseverance to be rewarded. Okay, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, if this is going to cost players more than 5,000 units, I just don't think it's going to be worth it from, say, again, that kind of like antagonistic level. At the end of the day, that takes away the, you know, is this game meant to be a fun game, or is it meant to be a skill-based game? Is it meant to be one or the other? Because it just then means that this is a skill-based type of event. But again, it's like maybe this content is built for one type of player, not for the other, but then that kind of like removes the inclusivity. So many things to consider when looking at this. But either way, there's lots of different types of nodes on for stuff and some of these characters, especially because I don't know if this unlocks on a weekly basis or different sections unlock on a weekly basis. I don't know. I know there's definitely something towards the end of the month with Summer of Pain, which I don't know if that's going to be similar like this or whatever. It's only for Thronebreakers, which sucks, but you know, at least it's giving some people and players the opportunity to do something, especially an opportunity to get here. Like, all this stuff is pretty nice things. I think that's going to be the other thing. If you aren't, you know, super skilled, I'm talking like Metal Sonic Dude level of play, you may kind of like want to spend the units, especially for 34,200 tier 6 basic catalyst fragments. That's a high amount, and especially with the tier 3 alpha that you get from doing that, there you may feel inclined that you want to do this, especially with the fact it's a short time frame and date to kind of like do it. But you might want to do it indeed. So the 5-star shards, man, that's a nice amount, and especially there 6-star Nexus Hero Crystal. Man, collecting all that stuff and getting them all done by the end of it, I think you'll feel like, oh, this is nice. But it's going to be one of these things of feeling, is this going to be punishing? Is this going to be friendly? It's more than likely not going to be the case, but we'll see what happens when this content goes live a little bit later on today. Next up, and let's talk about the Scarlet Witch Sigil situation. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree mobile games have microtransactions. Some don't, some do. Predominantly a lot of mobile games have microtransactions. Whether or not you can spend or not spend, games need free-to-play players, and they need those that spend money. That's unfortunately the way that most games work now. You either buy a game completely without having to spend any more. Maybe there's DLC you've got to spend. Maybe there's packs and stuff. But let's face it, it's not as bad as EA. EA are one of the worst games developers for microtransactions. But the whole situation around this is, I know there are players out there that feel that they're hard done by Kabam from the way that this Summoner Sigil is worked, and as well the Scarlet Witch Sigil works. So here's the thing, right? With this whole situation, yes, there will be something down the line, as said here, and we have to bear in mind, Platinum Pool was first of all a premium thing, so you had to buy into it, and then it's the case that it started in artifacts that you can now spend it. So incursion artifacts, you can now buy it. So will this be a similar thing? Possibly. Will this be put into a shard-based scenario? Again, possibly. I don't think Kabam are going to completely kind of shut out the free-to-play market, but essentially give the Summoner Sigil something of more value, especially if like it's kind of treated as like an early access thing. But it kind of isn't, because if you look at it this way, it may be a case with the Sigil credit, it could take you 6 months for you to get that character, but then it could enter into a crystal, like an incursions crystal, or bought with dark artifacts, and you're like, oh, I could buy it for free from there. But that may what happened. It may be not what will happen, so that's something to bear in mind. In any case, Kabam have responded to like a few things here, because it does give the impression in that particular message that you can get more items. So Kabam Miko says, hey everybody, we've seen a misconception going around and we want to clear it up. We don't plan on having anything available for Sigil credits except for Scarlet Witch for now. There won't be any other items available for purchase with these credits. Hope this clears up things. Going further to say, the items listed are 5-star and 6-star Scarlet Witch. So that will be what it will be for that. And the thing is, it could be a complete rip-off. Like, I know we haven't seen it yet, but I think as soon as it drops, whenever it drops next month, or this month, that when we see it, we'll be like, okay, well, yeah, as I said, like getting 1 credit for 1 month, and then there may be like 2 credits you can get, or 3 credits. But then the cost of the 6-star Scarlet Witch for me may be something like 30 credits, so I have to wait an absolute age in order to pick up that character. So it doesn't give so much of a fair, like an unfair advantage to those that are free to play. But as I said, my hope is that it gets into the into something like a crystal pool, or gets into a incursions type store. I mean, look, we haven't even got a 6-star unstoppable Colossus, so maybe Kabam could sort that out for the loyalty store. Either way, what are your thoughts on this particular subject? Put it in the comment section down below. Are you still a little bit annoyed? And now on to our final story, which is Arena Predictions. Now, all my predictions are down below at the moment for you to go and check out. So, what do I think that these champions are going to go down? Well, Selector, bit of a difficult one, but I'm pretty confident on this. I really wish that new content wasn't dropping, because I really wanted to do a grind for Awakening My Ebony Maw, or at least try for a 5 or 6-star War Machine, because I don't think it's in the pool, at least to kind of like get through these means. So I really wanted to do that. And Spider-Ham, yeah, as a 6-star basic would be quite cool. I do think that players' interest may be in different areas, especially from doing things like the Grandmaster Gauntlets, or doing the current event. So it could be a case that it just changes things about. But I've gone for the following. I think the 6-star Selector will go for 80 mil. I do actually think they'll go a lot lower than that, but these arenas are so volatile. It is so difficult to pinpoint where players could be going with their grind. I think I'm going to have to really look at what round 1 goes for and take it from there. Selector 5-star, 35 mil. I think that's going to be fair enough. I think it might even go less than that, but we'll have to see. Spider Ham is a 6-star. I think I'm going to go with 140 mil. I just don't know. Again, as I said, I just don't know where players are. Spider Ham's a really good champion, especially for enemies that are going to be throwing special attacks and punishing with poppers. Spider Ham's a 5-star, 40 mil. Again, I think that's going to be fair enough to go for. It's maybe one of these situations where it goes a lot less, and I'm getting this strange feeling it'll go a lot less, but every time I feel it's going to go a lot less, it goes a lot more. Mr. Negative, for example. Immortal Abomination in the round 2. Loads of different times where things just haven't gone right with these arenas. And should they increase like the amount of cutoff for those at 6-star and as well 5-star? Yeah, I think that's kind of like, that's fair enough to say that, but look, you know, Kabam is Kabam at the end of the day. They can do some good things, but they can do a lot of bad things as well at the same time with this stuff. But yeah, we'll see what happens on the results day on Sunday. And there we go. That's been the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button. Check out some other stuff that's on screen right now, and I'll see you all very soon. Later on today, lots to cover with the new update, so hopefully see you there for some more videos.